Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In the past week, several of you have sent me this video letting me know that MrCatI called me out for the videos I made on the death of Antonin Scalia. We're about to watch a portion of MrCatI's video. I want you to hear him criticize me without naming me. And then after he's done speaking, what I'm going to do is show you why MrCatI is incorrect, as he almost always is. This is a channel I do not pay attention to because it is a misinformation channel. I don't think MrCatI is a shill. I think he's an old man who doesn't know what he's talking about, who's lonely, and who likes to make videos regurgitating the nonsense that comes out of his mind. If you're not familiar with this channel, he is a decode channel, but his decodes are not based in anything. Well, I shouldn't say that. They're based out of the beliefs in his own mind. And the opinions and predictions he makes on these decodes are always incorrect. I've never seen this guy predict anything correctly in my life, and he always arrives at the wrong conclusion. And anybody who spends any time on this channel is wasting precious minutes of their life they can't get back. I don't mean to sound arrogant, but every second you waste on this channel is a second you could have spent on my channel or other credible information sources out there. So with that said, let's watch MrCatI ramble on, critique me, and then once he's finished, I'm going to take him to school. Here we go.
On either the night of February the 12th or the morning of February the 13th. Now, there are those out there on YouTube, and I distance myself from these other people for the following reasons. Number one, a lot of their videos hinge on the date being February 13th because they want to link it to Lupercalia. Otherwise, they wouldn't have anything to discuss if it's not February the 13th. And I've already shown and discussed that any logical person, because we really don't know, because an investigation, an autopsy, a coroner, nobody truly examined the body to determine time of death. Now, I've stated this, but I've also shown, because of the code, which is what I base my findings on, the code that says that because he was coded ritually to die in a ritual sacrifice, that death is associated with February the 12th, not February the 13th. So I distance myself from anyone who says he died on February the 13th because of Lupercalia, because that has not one damn thing to do with the ritual or when he actually died. Now, if they would at least admit that they don't know for certain when he died, I wouldn't be so angry. But they hinge on February the 13th as if it has to be February the 13th because they're feeding all the mindless crap to these people out there that are swallowing it, thinking that Lupercalia, February 13th. No, he died February the 12th. Now, the second thing, there are those out there, some of the same people, who are always bashing Freemasons. Freemasons, Masonry did this, Masonry did that. It doesn't matter what happens. If a shooting occurs, Freemasons are involved. And like I said, I'm sick and tired of that judgmental attitude as well. Because if these same people who say and espouse all of this hate towards Masons, as if, it's just another hate group to hate by people who are haters, and you can tell this by what they say about certain groups. Now, here's what they should have said had they been objective and had they really been fair with their observations or supposed research. They would have told you what I'm getting ready to tell you, is that Antonin Scalia was a 33rd degree Mason. Now, here's a 33rd degree Mason, highest in the order, and yet he was murdered ritually. What does that tell you? Okay? Now, if you're going to blame these same Freemasons for killing him for the group that he belongs to, well, that's a possibility. But isn't that what I said? Is that the Freemasons, like the Catholic Church and like many other organizations around the world, have been infiltrated by an infectious group of people who want to do nothing but kill off the people of the world and take charge of this planet for themselves. Now, these same bastards are at work here. So, if these other so-called YouTubers had actually been fair in their observations of what was going on. They could say that he's a Freemason, but they should at least acknowledge he was murdered as a Freemason. So, what's wrong with this picture? You see, that's what these other people won't do, and I didn't come here to preach Freemasonry. I'm really preaching a form of fairness and observation and reporting. Because you see, if you're already sold on Freemasons did it for everything you see, well, then you're a bigot, and you're an ignorant bigot, because you're not reporting anything except your own personal hatred towards some group that you can say did it so that you can have something to say. You're trying to stay relevant to current events, and it's failing. Truly, I don't pay attention to these people. I don't like watching their videos, and occasionally somebody will send me a link, and so I do. And that's how I find out the things that I find out.
All right, Truth Seeker. So he goes on the same rant midway through the video, emphasizing the same points. Time to go to school, MrCatI. So everyone in the media is reporting that his date of death is February 13th, but as I acknowledged in the video, it is possible that he passed in the night on February 12th, and I'll talk about the significance of that date as well in just a moment. But just so you can see, everywhere the date of death is reported as February 13th. So for MrCatI to say that he knows it's February 12th, that's just his opinion. With regards to Lupercalia, it's on February 13th, the 44th day of the year. And throughout history, as I have shown, 44 is very much connected to major political assassinations. This is something I've been writing about and doing videos on since 2013. Lupercalia, which falls on the 44th day of the year, has gematria of 44. For more than a year, I have written friendly messages to MrCatI asking if he can share more of this gematria knowledge with his viewers. He has never responded to me to date. So his video attacking me is really his first response to me. Anyhow, 44, if you're new here, is the kill number. In simple English gematria, kill equals 44. They say that he died on a ranch. Ranch even has gematria 44, tying in with the theme. When you write out 44 as a word, it sums to 144. Our calendar, the date 4/4 or April 4th, also has gematria of 144. And in history, the first president to die in office died on April 4th. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on this date. Again, every major assassination, political death you've ever heard of is connected to this number. The last president to die in office was John F. Kennedy, the 35th president, but also the 44th term president. What's interesting about 35 is he's the only Catholic president, and the word Catholic equals 35. We're going to be talking about the Catholics in this post as well. In CatI's video, he has up the date September 23rd. And the reason he has that up is because that's the date the Pope met with the 44th president. From September 23rd to February 13th was a span of exactly 144 days. From September 23rd to the 44th day of the year was 144 days. This is the code. And when I was doing videos while Pope Francis was here, I pointed out this connection to Lupercalia, and I said, watch for a major political assassination on that date. There was speculation that it could even be Barack Obama, the 44th president, who met with the Pope on September 23rd. Instead, it's Scalia, and what are we getting out of that? All these conspiracies about how the 44th president might be involved. September 23rd was also the date of Yom Kippur, the Jewish holy day of atonement. Yom Kippur has gematria of 144. Think about Pope Francis representing the Catholic Church meeting with the 44th president on this Jewish holy day. We're talking about the entities that run this world, the Masons, the Zionists, the Jesuits. In the history of the Catholic Church, there's the 33-day Pope. 33, this number of great importance to the Freemasons. Think about Catholic Church, CC 33. The Catholic Church who paid for Christopher Columbus to sail to the Americas. Christopher Columbus was a Jew. Anyhow, this 33-day Pope died September 28, 1978, a date with 44 numerology. The kill code, also a date with 115 numerology, connecting to Freemasons, the plural, killing in Jewish gematria. So for MrCatI to say that 44 in Lupercalia doesn't have to do with anything, it's just absolutely absurd, it's insane, and it's part of the reason that listening to him will only lead you off track. MrCatI is not to be taken seriously and is truly an idiot. Here's something else about that Pope. This is the 33-day Pope. Albino Luciani has gematria of 122, just like Pope Francis. And now what MrCatI is saying, here's where it does hold up. It was reported that Scalia died somewhere between the night of February 12th and the morning of February 13th. But everyone's crediting the date February 13th. In most parts of the world, February 12th is written 12/2, a lot like 122, connecting to Pope Francis, as well as the 33-day Pope. Notice that Pope Francis in Jewish gematria sums to 404. In numerology, 0 doesn't count, so his name is a lot like 44. He met with the 44th president 144 days before Scalia died on the 44th day of the year. Pope Francis's birth name even connects to the number 44 through Jewish gematria. These are all things I've been talking about for months. So for this to happen on Lupercalia only backs up what I've been talking about. And now here MrCatI is trying to, toss insults my way, saying I'm just making stuff up. Man, I talked about this in September, brother. And if you don't think he's talking about me, just search in YouTube Antonin Scalia Lupercalia. Look at what comes up. Videos by me. And this channel right here, Secular Talk, talks about how they learned from another YouTube channel about the significance of his death on Lupercalia. Who do you think they learned from? Notice how their views are 60,000, mine are all less. But remember, YouTube keeps all of my views way down. I get less views now than when I had 500 subscribers. And now I have nearly 11,000. My view stats are all regulated, all suppressed, because they don't want this truth getting put out. So MrCatI, he also makes the point that I wouldn't have anything to talk about without Lupercalia, but in fact, I've done several videos showing all the predictive programming. I mentioned right off the bat the connection to the Dick Cheney hunting incident in Texas while quail hunting and how it reminded of the death of Scalia. Check this out in case you missed the video. Notice that all these words have 87 gematria. Dick Cheney, Antonin, Justice. So does pillow. They say a pillow was found above his head. Any word with 87 simple English gematria will have 522 English gematria. So all these have 522 English gematria. From the date of the Dick Cheney shooting, February 11th, the 42nd day of the year, Freemason equals 42, to February 13th, 2016, February 11th, 2006 is the date of the Dick Cheney shooting incident, to February 13th is a span of exactly 522 weeks. And this shooting of Dick Cheney killing Scalia was joked about in the cartoon Family Guy. This is how the script rolls, Truth Seeker. This is the planned history. These are the things I've been talking about for years. And adding insult to injury, Dick Cheney hails from Wyoming, the 44th state. U.S. states in order of statehood, Wyoming the 44th state. Notice the 522 weeks lined up with February 13th and not February 12th. The episode of Family Guy was called Meet the Quagmires, which has gematria of 87, just like Antonin, just like Justice, just like Dick Cheney. This is what's really going on, Truth Seeker. My channel, the work I've been doing, I'm speaking nothing but truth. I'm showing nothing but how it's been done throughout history, from the first president up to the present, and even really long before that.